Hi friends, welcome to today's flow. We're going to begin kneeling on our mat, sitting on the heels, keeping the spine nice and tall. Maybe close off the eyes and take a little inventory of how you're feeling right now, how the body is feeling, especially paying close attention to the spine, as that's what our focus will be today. When you feel ready, begin by taking some big circles with the shoulders. Imagine you're trying to draw as big of a circle as you can, maybe trying to touch the earlobes with the top of the shoulder, and then driving those shoulder blades down and back beside the spine 3 or 4 times, nice and slow. And then on your next inhale, inhale the arms up to the sky, reaching up as high as you can. As you exhale, we're going to do cactus arms, bending the elbows and puffing the chest forward, driving the elbows down behind our low back as if you're going to touch your elbows together, and then letting the hands fall all the way to the floor. 2 more times. Inhale the arms up to the sky, sitting up as tall as you can, then puff out the chest. Exhale as you open up wide with the elbows. Nice and slow. 1 last time. Inhale as much as you can, filling up the lungs, and exhale out slowly, opening up the front of the chest. Plant the left hand on the mat next to your hips, and inhale the right arm up to the sky, exhaling it all the way over towards the left side, taking a nice lateral stretch, keeping the shoulders stacked, keeping the chest open towards the front. Bending completely sideways. Inhale to sit up tall once more, and exhale back to that same side, bending into the supporting elbow, and then come back up to sitting. Taking the other side, inhale the arm up and exhale to bend all the way over, finding that place where you feel the stretch and maybe pushing yourself past that limit where you can feel the openness. Inhale to sit up tall, exhale to bend over one more time to the right, as far as we can to open up the side body, and then inhale back up to sitting. Bring the weight forward onto hands and knees, or all fours as we say. Find a neutral spine here, reaching out long with the top of the head and the tailbone, engaging the core to find a neutral position. On an inhale, let the belly drop low and take the gaze forward, letting the tailbone come high. Inhaling completely as you exhale, pushing the mat away, curving out the spine, taking the gaze to your belly button or your thighs. Inhale back to your cow pose. Maybe this time take the gaze a bit higher as you drop the belly down low. Exhale, pushing away, spreading the shoulder blades, gazing at the belly button. Take your flow between these 2 positions as slowly as you would like, matching your own breath, wiggling out the hips as it feels good, and doing what feels right for your body. Focus on reaching the heart forward between the shoulders every time you come to your cow position, and then really spreading through the upper back every time you come through cat pose. Finish up your last round of cat and cow, and then tuck the toes and take the tailbone high for your downward facing dog. You can keep a generous bend in the knees here as it's our first one of the practice. Focus on pushing away from the mat through the palms, and always striving for a nice long spine from tailbone down to our wrists, reaching the heels towards the floor as much as possible to stretch out those hamstrings. Take a few rounds of breath here, wiggling out anything that feels necessary. On your next inhale, 3-legged dog with the right leg goes high. We keep the toes pointed down towards the floor to square off the hips, reaching the heel towards the sky, pushing through the palms. Exhale here. As you inhale, go ahead and open up the hips, this time reaching the heel up to the sky, and then letting that heel bend all the way to our bum. Now pointing the kneecap to the sky and feeling this open up in the front of that right hip. You can increase this by sort of peeking underneath that right armpit and letting the chest sway in that direction, opening up the front body from the hip all the way through the chest. This is a big part of back bending we often forget, is opening the front body. Exhale slowly to bring that right leg back down to meet the left, and we'll take it on the other side. Inhaling to your three-legged dog, this time left heel stretches towards the sky, keeping the toes pointed down at first to square those hips. And then as we inhale again, opening up the hips and letting that knee bend, pointing the kneecap towards the sky, opening up towards the other direction, feeling that in the front of the hip, the belly, the chest, and the armpits. Breathe nice and deep into this really yummy stretch, driving that right heel down towards the floor, still nice and strong in that standing leg. And then on an exhale, let the left foot come down to meet the mat once more into your downward facing dog. Inhale as you roll the weight forward into a high plank position, stacking shoulders over the wrists. Exhale as you take a chaturanga, slowly lowering, keeping the elbows tucked. Inhale to an upward facing dog, or you can choose to take a cobra here. Nice long stretch through the front body, and exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg, three-legged dog, reaching towards the sky, opening up the hips and bending into the top leg, taking that stretch again, really twisting towards the right edge of our mat this time. If you didn't the first time, peek under that right armpit, keeping the weight pressing through both hands. Exhale slowly down to the floor in your downward facing dog. Inhale, left heel high, opening up the hips, pointing the knee towards the sky and twisting the opposite direction, feeling the entire front body open and stretch. Nice and slowly exhale that leg back down to meet the other on the mat. We'll take a vinyasa again. Inhale the right forward high plank. Exhale chaturanga lower. Inhale upward facing dog. Take an extra breath here, reaching the chest forward and up to the sky. And then on your exhale, tuck the toes, take the tailbone high, downward facing dog. Inhale the weight forward to your high plank, stacking shoulders over the wrists. And exhale, this time lowering all the way down until your belly meets the mat. Situate yourself so the tops of the feet are resting on the mat and the tops of the thighs as well. Place the hands underneath your shoulders, and we're going to push up into a little cobra pose here, switching on the back muscles, especially in the lower back. Inhaling completely as you lift the chest and pressing to the palms, keeping the neck in alignment. You can toy around with pushing up further, straightening into the arms, and then exhale on your way down, taking the chest back to the mat. We're going to take this a few times. Go at your own pace, inhaling up and exhaling down, pushing up as much as you would like, but keeping the tops of the feet on the mat and making your back do most of the work as opposed to your biceps and arms. Now together, we're going to press the tops of the feet into the mat, switch on the glutes and the legs, and lift up into a baby cobra, just lifting the chest, and then seeing if you can lift the palms off the mat before exhaling back down to your rest position. So this is making your back muscles do all the work. Inhaling up, switching on the lower back, switching on the glutes and the legs, pressing into the floor. Lift up the hands, big inhale as much as you can, and then exhaling back down. Now you can stay here repeating what we've just done, or you can try a locust pose. I like to interlace the hands behind my low back and then push to straighten the arms as I inhale and lift the chest off the mat, engaging the back body, the glutes and legs. Lifting up the chest first, and then maybe even toying around with lifting the feet off the mat for a locust pose. If you reach this position, exhale here, inhale once more, and then exhale your way back down to the mat. Take a little rest, breathe deeply, relax everything before we try it one more time. Inhaling on the way up, pressing the palms together and lifting everything up off the mat, engaging the back body. Exhale here, inhale once more, and exhale it down to a relaxed position. You can rest the head on the mat or the hands and let everything come down. Take a few moments here, letting your breath come back to its natural rhythm and letting all those muscles relax. Strengthening the back body is such an important part of back bending and learning how to safely practice some of these heart-opening poses. When you're ready, gently make your way back into a downward facing dog. When you arrive, take a deep inhale and exhale. And then on your next inhale, three-legged dog on the right side, right heel reaches towards the sky. Then open up the hips and take that bent knee stretch. We're going to take this into a wild thing, bringing the weight forward. Shoulders go over the wrist, the leg is still lifted. We start transferring the weight into the left hand and left foot and let the right foot touch down behind. And then pushing the hips to the sky, straightening into the left leg, opening up to this heart opener we call wild thing, pressing the hips and front body to the sky. This is a gorgeous back bend to practice. We exit by going back the way we came, placing the right hand down on the mat and transferring the weight back to that three-legged dog position, bent knee to the sky, before exhaling that foot down to meet the left on the mat. Wonderful. Let's take it on the other side. Inhale to that three-legged dog. Left heel reaches towards the sky. Bend into the knee, opening up towards the other side of your mat. Bring the shoulders over the wrists as you transfer the weight into the right hand and right foot, touching left foot down behind and pushing the pelvis towards the sky, getting that nice big arch, opening up the heart and chest, everything on the front body, and using those muscles we activated in our locust pose to hold the back bend. When you're ready, touch left hand back down to the mat and flip that left leg back to the sky, three-legged dog, and then exhale the foot back down to your downward facing dog. Take a big breath here, you're doing amazing. We're going to take our wild thing one more time on each side. Right leg, three-legged dog, bend into the top leg, start bringing the weight forward, transfer all the weight to the left hand, step the foot behind, and the right arm curves up over the head as we press the hips to the sky. Really feeling that stretch along the entire right side body. Coming back the way we came, plant both hands, take the right leg to the sky, three-legged dog, and exhale the foot down. On the left, inhale, three-legged dog, bend into the knee as we exhale. Inhale to bring the weight forward and transfer over to the right side, stepping that foot behind and pressing into our wild thing, releasing the head and neck, just opening up the chest and stomach, stretching as much as feels good, and then exiting the way we came, planting both hands, three-legged dog, left knee high. Inhale here and exhale down to your downward facing dog. Go ahead and drop the knees and take a child's pose. Child's pose is a great counter position to any kind of back bend. It brings your spine back to this natural and neutral position. That's why this is called child's pose. It's like a rebirth for your spine, and it's also very calming to the nervous system. Let your breathing slow and relax and come back to your natural rhythm. I hope you've enjoyed this back bending for beginners. Make sure you give this video a like and hit that subscribe button so that you get notified when I upload another class. Thank you so much for flowing with me, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.